face because this man is a joke. So yesterday I was playing with the contrast in this picture to try and get a better picture of the pattern on Morgan's swimsuit. I realized that half of this picture is not changing at all when I play with the shadows, which is an indicator to me of a photograph being altered. So then I started scrutinizing this picture because why would I ever have reason to doubt it before? And then that's when I noticed this boat seam underneath all of their legs. You can almost trace it all the way until you get to Nolan. Not only are these creases in different places, but there's no shadow, nothing underneath his legs here. In fact, if you look really closely, make sure you're bright.
Shout out to Jay Megan, man, breaking this down. She got the eagle eye. She's about to break down the photos. We're going to get into a couple of videos from Jay Megan. But Nancy Grace exposed not only Officer Tatum, but Nolan Wells' friends' lawyers, okay? They talking about none of them knew Katie. I'm going to bring up some images that show you that at least one or two of them actually knew Katie, all right? Then they're going to go into how they're saying no one took polygraph tests when Officer Tatum said they did take polygraph tests as well. There's so many things that's circulating around this case. It's crazy. Make sure y'all hitting the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, make sure we're liking. Let's just hear what Jay is saying so that we could get to the Nancy Grace as well. Salute to everybody. Hopefully y'all all having a good day today.
This is turned all the way up. You can see a seam right here that just stops. And that would connect over here. Then I saw in between this elbow here, look, there is so much fabric that's supposedly his shorts. Not to mention a very intimate hand placement. I mean, that elbow is going all the way up to them hips. And then look, in between Morgan's legs, like, why does this shadow suddenly stop? You can see a seam here and then nothing. And then look at the way Nolan is holding this can. Got one finger like over the lid, but the can looks really like wide. And then his thumb is on the other side of the lid. Like, how would you hold something like that? Now look at this half of the picture. Notice how Nolan's head is casting a shadow going to the left. Same with Eric here. Head casting shadow to the left, which means right where I am on the screen would be the direction that the sun would be coming from. And yet his shadow is going straight down and his shadow is going straight down and to the right, implying that their light source, their sun, is coming from over here. So is this picture fake? Then I started looking at the photos that they gave to Officer Tatum. Why is Nolan a giant? He and Jax are literally almost the same build and height. And I understand that perspective's a thing, but not when they're this close to each other. Not when the camera is right here. And look, same problem with this one with the shadows. Shadow going this way, shadow going this way, shadow going this way, shadow going this way, shadow going straight up and down, shadow straight up and down, straight up and down, straight up and down, straight up and down, to the left. And this jacuzzi tub looks normal at first until you zoom in. First off, why is his elbow blending into his hat? Why is his chest an outie? And whose fucking face is that? Because that looks like AI tried to recreate this guy. This is another picture of Nolan with them. And I'm like, why does his eyes look swollen shut? Why his neck as big as his head? But get ready, folks. I'm about ready to blow their little he wasn't on the Triton picture out of the fucking water. Because right here is Morgan's swim trunks. You can see his like beads here, his glasses, his hat. But I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on in this picture. Then I was comparing these two videos and I realized, oh wait, it's a visor. It's a visor hanging off of this. See, there's the bill and like the little like part there. But as I was comparing these two pictures, something fucking hit me. Look at black part, metal, white plastic, metal, visor. Black part, metal part, white plastic, no metal pole. Look at the steering wheel. The steering wheel has this like white flap thing that's going on here. What? No white. But look, there's the door. There's the door. What's going on here with this leg? I don't know. Now, do you guys see it? Can you see it? Vertical bars, horizontal bars, vertical, horizontal. And it's not just that the vertical bars are missing. There is no horizontal bar like right here. And not only that, y'all see how there's like this curved bar here? Where's the bar in this picture? It should be going right next to the hat, like right into it. And yet we have nothing here. And I know y'all have lots of questions and I can't pretend like I have any answers to them. I am about to wipe Evil Mur's smile clean.
Word the photos, doctor. She has the eagle eye. Forget Shia Bow, homie. So she has the eagle eye. The way she's peeping these photos, no wonder why she can't even keep a video up. Soon as she uploads a video, they taking it down. It's crazy. Maybe they're trying to silence her, allegedly. But yo, that's crazy. When it comes to these photographs, there's so many weird things that's happening when it comes to this situation, all right? We're going to get into the Nancy Grace as well, because
boy, they really didn't want you to see
right
this
here, the
video
interview,
because they made it ineligible immediately so you wouldn't see it. So let's go through a speed run of the information. We can now definitively say that this is Jax. We can also now definitively say that this is Morgan. He's wearing the same hat as well as the same bracelets. So where were they on the Triton? Now that we've got a much clearer video thanks to Officer Tatum, it's obvious that there is nobody in an orange swimsuit or a paisley swimsuit on this boat.
My question is this, because you know, sometimes people try to be slick, but sometimes you out slick yourself. Is Officer Tatum doing more harm to those young men than he's actually helping when he thinks that he's helping? We understand that he's all the way on the young men's side. Be on any side you want to be on in life. I'm not here to argue with nobody about that. But if you're really going to be on your journalistic view, right, you're going to be in the middle and try to be as unbiased as you can. But as far as he goes, he's already drawn his line in the sand, for lack of a better word, right? No pun intended. He's already drawn his line in the sand. If there were any suspects that were supposed to be guilty of foul play in this case, they would come from them young men or anybody that was actually on Horn Island. So why would you go all the way to that side and lean all the way to that side? Why would he do that, right? Some people are saying he's been paid off. Some people are saying he just likes to be white adjacent, or he needs white validation, or whatever the case may be. I don't know. Maybe it's a multitude of reasons of why, but I think his interviews are actually bringing out more fault in the young men, or maybe more suspicions out of them, than he's even helping them. And that's just my own opinion of this case and this whole situation, man. I'm telling you right now, all right? Cool. Let's get to Nancy Grace, though, because Nancy is most definitely breaking this down, okay? Let's get to Nancy.
Have the friends taken polygraphs?
Well, from my understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph. And from what was told to me, that they all passed. And all of the ones that took a polygraph took one without a lawyer. And so, and they cooperated with law enforcement. So from my understanding, everybody took a polygraph test. Why do you say that's
from what you understand? Did they tell you they took a poly and passed?
Yes, ma'am. They told me that they did it. I wasn't there. So that's what I'm saying from my understanding. They told me that all the boys except one, which is Warren, I believe, took a polygraph test. All of them did not have lawyers and did it and cooperated with police. Warren also cooperated with police.
Well, as far as Nolan's friends' lawyers, you know what he's saying? He's saying actually nobody took it except for one and one girl. That's what they're saying. He said everybody took it except for one, right? The lawyer's saying no one took it except for one male, which he refused to name, and one female, which I believe is Katie. So Katie took this stress test, and one male that's out of the bunch, or maybe out of this whole group, has taken that stress test. The lawyer says that I was there. I was there when they did this, and they did not do this. So why is Tatum saying that all of them did but one person, and the lawyer saying that no one did, only one person did, and one woman did? I'm telling you, man, sometimes you're trying to be slick and you just out slick yourself. And I think that Officer Tatum is doing more damage than he's actually helping those young men. I'm telling you.
Just believe he didn't take a lot to take the test, but Warren is the young man that I interviewed. So according to what they told me, they all took a lot to take tests and passed. And it's an equivalent of a lot to take the test. It's not a traditional lot to take test, but it's the same theology of trying to get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lot to take the test. It's a different methodology. I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze if the people were telling the truth or not.
Did they take a polygraph would be no. That is Officer Tatum from the Officer Tatum on YouTube. Joining us tonight are two very special guests. They are convinced of the friends, and when I say quoties, I don't mean they are or they're not friends, because I don't know. The young men on the Triton boat that took Nolan Wells to Horn Island. Many argue he was on the boat on the return when foul play occurred. Many argue he was not. In fact, the timeline has blown up because there are reports that Nolan Wells was seen on the island after the friend's boat left, which would exonerate them. Is that true? I don't know, and I'm trying to find out. For me, nobody's guilty and everybody's a suspect because we don't know the truth yet, but we will. Joining us tonight, Tyler Cox, the lawyer for several of the young men with the law firm Taylor and Cox, him being the Cox. Also with us, another veteran trial lawyer, Edward Pulsick, attorney for the boys as well. Actually, they're not boys. They're adults in the eyes of the law due to their age. Gentlemen, thank you for being with us tonight.
Remember, right now, what the top lawyer that's on the screen right now, okay? What he's going to do now is, because there were supposed to be 2 witnesses who allegedly knows Nolan well, who gave statements to investigators or to officers saying that they saw Nolan for a fact after the time that the young men left, which is at 4:31 p.m. Allegedly, this is the time that they've left. This is all questionable. It's all in question, right? But he's going to be speaking confidently to say, listen, they made the confirmation. They confirmed it that they've seen him after those young men left. So them young men are not responsible for anything that happened to Nolan based upon these 2 supposed witnesses that ended up coming forward to say that. He's going to speak with a confidence that this is what it is, man. They made the eye confirmations. It's over. Basically, this is how he's speaking. I don't know if I'm so sure about it like he is. This is crazy.
First question to clear up this matter. Have your clients taken polygraphs? First to you, Tyler Cox.
Nancy, my clients have not taken a polygraph test. And I can tell you why. Because any lawyer worth their salt is going to tell their clients not to take a polygraph test under any circumstances. 2 of my clients went in and made statements with me. We're not going to I'm not going to do a polygraph test because, one, as you know, they're not admissible in court. And so it wasn't.
That's one lie by Tatum already. Tatum said that everybody but one person took the lie detector test, polygraph. Nancy ran down. He came back and said it's a stress test that they took. But this is the lawyer, and he's saying no one took it except for 1 man and 1 girl, which I believe is Katie. Officer Tatum is caught in 1 lie as well as many, but that's 1 lie that he's caught in for fact. He's lying.
Going to be admissible anyway. You should never, ever, if you're a lawyer, allow your clients to take a polygraph test. Now, we allowed investigators from the jump to have access to their phones, their Life 360, everything. We have cooperated implicitly every step of the way. But no, they didn't take polygraphs tests. But what I'll tell you is one of the other boys, who I won't mention their name, but I'm sure that you've heard, took one. The girl that Nolan was with took a stress analysis voice test, and so did the other boy. So that's the test they took. Both of them passed. And so
only 2 people he named, 1 boy and the girl. That's it. That's all. So we got to listen to the fine, the fine words, the fine print. You got to listen. See what I'm saying? Tatum is lying. Why is he lying? Why did he try to make us all believe, even Nancy believe, that everybody has passed with flying colors this supposed polygraph test, alleged stress test? Think about this. Think about this for yourself.
Again, no lawyer worth of salt is going to tell his clients to take a polygraph test or anything like that.
I would like to corroborate part of what Tyler Cox just said. Any defense attorney, whether they're convinced, truly convinced their client is innocent or guilty, they're not going to allow a poly. I've never seen that. I've had a couple of lawyers, maybe 3, in all the years I practiced, all the people I put behind bars, consent before trial to a poly. 3. And they were all criminal cases that carried severe penalties. So what he's saying is true. Even if you think your client is innocent, very rarely will you see a defense lawyer say, sure, take a poly. However, I disagree with you regarding their admittance into court. Polygraphs are allowed in civil trials.
Okay.
O.J. Simpson, he flunked horribly. And if both sides stipulate to the polygraph's admittance before the polygraph is taken, it can come into a criminal trial. The reality is that never happens. That never happens.
Right.
Nancy,
The time that we first cooperated with police, the first very week, the days after, just 1 to 2 days after the disappearance of Nolan Wells.
he's nervous. The first very week is how you say that sentence. He's a person that speaks English, the king or the queen's language. The very first week, not the first very week. He's nervous. That's a good thing.
We're not thinking about a civil suit. We're not thinking about that. We're thinking about how can we provide as much information to authorities so that they can find Nolan Wells. And it was not until after we spoke to officers and investigators that Nolan, unfortunately, his body was found on Horn Island, washed up. And it's unfortunate. And I hate that for Nolan because by all accounts, he was an incredible person. He was just truly remarkable in almost every sense of the word. But I mean, we're not thinking about a civil suit at that point in time. We're trying to help authorities find our friend who we can't find either.
Edward Polczyk joining us in addition to Tyler Cox, both of them veteran trial lawyers. He is with Taylor Dykema. Edward, how did you get involved in this case?
Well, I'd rather not talk about that. I could just tell you this. I can tell you that
Shady as hell. He'd rather not talk about that. That's shady as hell. But once Nancy about to push back on him and say, oh, you're making me want to go really investigate this of how you even became a part of this case. He's gonna be like, okay, I can give you a little bit more. Watch these people, man. Watch these people.
it was through a friend of a friend.
You're kidding, right? You're kidding me. Because when you tell me I'd rather not answer,
Well, I want to
That's
protect
just
the names. I wanna protect
igniting
the
me
na-
to find out how
Well,
you
hold
got
on.
involved in the
Well,
case.
Well, hold on. I can tell you a little bit more. I can tell you this. I can tell you a close friend who knows the Ocean Springs, Mississippi community very, very well, is from the area, connected me to a friend of his. And then I found myself speaking to Tyler here, and Tyler and I instantly became very close friends. We both have blue pickup trucks, so now we're the Blues Brothers. We just became very close.
Now they're the Blues Brothers. You representing someone in a case, all right? But now you've came so close to them that you're the Blues Brothers now? That just sounds weird. That sounds weird, bro. And then you didn't want to even say how you even connected with these young men, right? Through a friend of a friend. That's keeping somebody safe or somebody's namesake safe. That's what you're doing there. That just sounds like shady politics type talk. That's some political talks. We already know who this person represented, right? Supposed to be close with Trump, supposed to be close with another person as well that was in Tanzania, I think, that was allegedly charged, right? Were they charged? Unaliving of the girlfriend or their fiance. I think they got engaged, right? One chocolate-faced woman and one YT-faced man. All right, cool. As long as we remember that part. But I think it's just really shady circumstances, how you saying a friend of a friend.
So we hit it off. Then I had the opportunity to speak to Warren, speak to Morgan, speak to Jax, and we hit it off also. And I immediately realized these are incredibly fine young men. I realized
Okay,
right
hold
away.
on.
We hit it off. We hit it off. That should sound like some relationship type stuff. That don't sound like you really seeing like, yo, are these people innocent? Can I really represent them? And can, if they are not even innocent, allegedly, right? Can I represent them and get them off this case? That's basically what a lawyer is doing, man. Basically, what are you seeing on those elements and on that aspect? What are you seeing there? You know what I'm saying? That's the real question. Not that you hitting it off with them and all of this other weirdo talk like you their uncle or something like that. That's kind of corny and weird to me. You know what I'm saying? No, I see the truthfulness in these guys. I believe their stories, and I believe that the world needs to know it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm really stepped in, because I believe their story and their side of it. They actually went into some real crucial details to me, and I feel as a representative. You know what I'm saying? That kind of a talk is what you're more likely to hear. The way he's talking is like he's at a cookout and he's met some young guys and he's cool with them. And that's what that sounds like. And where's that line? Where's that line between all?
I wanted to help them out.
Ed, to you and Tyler, I'm not saying they have lied, and I'm not saying they haven't lied. I don't know. I have no reason to disbelieve your clients or to believe them. But you do know that people can look you right in the face and lie through your teeth, and you believe them. I've done it. I've had witnesses that I found out were lying to me, and it was a huge blow. I've had police officers. I worked a child trafficking case. My first child trafficking case. Worked it. I finally found the little girl. I went into a room full of sex workers. They went, she's in there. I'm like, there's no child in there. They went, she's the one in the white boots. She looked like she was 38 years old. She's 14. That said, we won the case. But fast forward about 10 months later, I was walking through the grand jury room and I saw these horrible federal court sketches. I'm like, oh my stars. Is that who I think it is? It was my vice cops. They had been stealing from dopers and they got indicted by the feds. And I had been out on the street with them every day for months trying to prove a child trafficking case. So just because somebody tells you the sky is blue does not mean the sky is blue. You do know that, right?
Well, I can tell you this. They were off Horn Island at 4:30 p.m. on July 4th. And Nolan Wells was seen alive.
Now we're getting somewhere. How can you prove that to me other than them telling you? I assume you've got GPS tracking and the call to CETO.
We have witnesses among other things, but I can